got through. Oh well, that's all right. I don't need one.
Hello world, okay, here we are. If you're watching from Facebook, we changed the way we looked. Now I can't see. I gotta put my glasses on. All right, so our final reader this afternoon is Simmons Buntin. Simmons is the author of Satellite, Essays on Fatherhood and Home, Near and Far, a collection of sustainable community case studies titled Unsprawl, Remixing Places and Spaces, and 2 books of poetry, Bloom and Riverfall. He's also the co-author of Dear America, Letters of Hope, Habitat, Defiance, and Democracy. He's the founding editor-in-chief of Terrain.org and president of the nonprofit Terrain Publishing. Simmons lives in Tucson, where he is the senior director of marketing and communications at University of Arizona's College of Information Science, and can also be found at simmonsbuntin.com and urbanwild.substack.com. So here is Simmons Buntin.
Thank you, Mark. I'm not intentionally hiding behind the monitor here, but if I move over this way, then I'm blinded a little bit by the light, which is never a bad thing, actually, now that I think about it either. So thanks, Mark. Thanks, Jennifer. Thanks so much for having me out here. It's so great to see old and new friends, contributors to Terrain.org. It's really wonderful to be here this afternoon. And among this beauty, I was saying earlier, if we had no crowd at all, that'd be okay. I would just turn around and read to the vineyards because they're so amazing. It's really delightful to be up here. I'm going to show a few slides as I read this afternoon, and I'm going to read a poem and then a very short excerpt from Satellite, and then I'll finish with a poem. So I won't keep you here too long, but if you want to get more wine, that's okay too, because that's why we're here in part as well. The first poem I'm going to read is from my second book, Bloom, which came out now 15 years ago. And it's inspired by 2 of my favorite things, and those are field guides, looking through field guides of all kinds, and ice cream, and specifically mint chocolate chip ice cream. I think that's all I need to say about this one. This is Wild Mint, and I'll keep this slide up for that one. Did you know that in my hand-sized guide, you were shelved among the blue, odd-shaped flowers? You, the purple coyote in the field, your feet licking the moist soil, releasing the slow and the sweet. And did you know in the volcanic slide of the red and solemn hills, there is a gully grinning between broken teeth? And in the palette of light where you and I live, foraging among the brittle-bush and saxifrage, I have peeled the dark earth for a mad glimpse of your pure white flesh. Have you not also felt the blue mustangs wrapping the rivers of their hooves through our canyons, the cottonwoods closing in around us, indeed the entire mountain dropping its shoulders to green shadow? There is nothing to reference the long roll of the melancholy night, nothing except perhaps for the passage on page 597. Quote, the dark teas made from the leaves of this intricately fragrant herb treat ailments and pause the pain of childbirth. Even now we hear the coyote's howls, low from beneath the hidden ledge, followed by the sudden yips of blind and naked pups. Thank you. So let's stay in Red Rock country for the first section of a 4-part essay in Satellite, which has 16 essays written over approximately 18 years. And some of them certainly are on fatherhood. Some of them are on other passions like craft brewed beer or chasing wildflowers. This particular essay is about color, and each section is a different color. And I'm just going to read the first section, which is on the color red, and I can probably fast forward there. And it starts with an epigraph. Again, this is A Pure Color is the name of the essay. An epigraph is the definition of hue, which is the property of light by which the color of an object is classified as red, blue, green, or yellow in reference to the spectrum. In the first section, the sections follow those colors, and so the first section is red. From the first morning, I see red. I feel it even more, fine claret dust on my teeth, beneath my fingernails, on my skin like the smooth scales of a coral snake. Sleeping in the teepee has something to do with it. Wrapped in a tight turquoise bag on a cot along the banks of Professor Creek, 20 miles from Moab, Utah. I wake and wish for a cap. My exposed ears could crack at the slightest touch. I wake and shake off the particulates that hang in the air and in my dreams like the icy residue of fog. The red of southern Utah is visible, eyes open or closed. I should say this photo is not adjusted at all. The red of southern Utah is visible, eyes open or closed. With camera in hand, that scarlet hue is what I'm after. Yet there's a broader pursuit, a central question. In the spectrum of place, what can I learn from the hues of the land? Though I write, it is often my camera that leads me, that captures and channels the light and holds it. The digital lens is my regular guide to beauty. But on what paths? Passion, serenity, vibrancy? And how does that experience of beauty, the seeking and obtaining, inform the landscape and our place in it? Here, where it seems that only the Colorado River isn't red, it's milky brown or in the evening green tinged with indigo, the color seems inescapable. And yet it eludes me, for the light moves like a phantom across this high desert landscape. Cliffs shift from vermilion to charcoal, arroyos wash from carmine to coffee. The changing light is a constant, and my desire is to hold it for the moment it takes to strike an image. In that respect, I am a thief. I seek to steal the light, and in stealing, so save it. Who can still such desires? Red has long been the color of desire in Western cultures, and despite the autumn chill and thick cottonwoods along the creek, the color transports me to my home in Tucson. Our bungalow is not red, but purple. The home's exterior decorated in paints labeled Putnam Plum, Concord Jam, and Ode to Purple. Contrasted against these tints, a prickly pear grows at the front of the house. Once only a trio of pale green pads, the cactus has sprawled into a spiny structure the size of a sedan. Not long ago, my daughters pointed out something odd on the plant, something white and waxy. From a distance, the growth looked like tufts of cotton caught in small patches along the cactus's spines, or like the remnants of a spitwad war zone, suggests entomologist Carl Olson. It's a sure sign of cochineal, a small insect that uses its beak to spear the cactus pad and then slowly suck it dry. In Latin, cochineal means scarlet-colored, and stripping away the wax reveals the female, bright red, bag-like, a quarter-inch long. Okay, so a disclaimer on this particular photo. There is none of the residue of a cochineal here because I had never taken any photos of that because it's just not terribly photogenic. I probably should have looked it up. But anyway, prickly pear fruit. Okay, let us find then where I was. Okay. Their history is also one of desire. According to Olson, who studies the group of insects called scales, the cochineal was the basis for a thriving Aztec textile industry known for its bright red garments. The Aztecs called it notesli, and it lived on the cactus nopal. After the conquest of the Aztecs, the Spaniards shipped bags of dried cochineal back to Spain. From there, it became popular throughout Europe. Cochineal dye is found in Michelangelo paintings, in the first U.S. flags, and in the red coats of British soldiers and Canadian mounted police. Harvested today in Mexico, Algeria, and the Canary Islands, it is also used in cosmetics and food color, a natural alternative to artificial dyes. From the frosty look of the prickly pear beneath the plum windowsill, cochineal could be harvested from our front yard as well. My daughters urge me to spray the wax from the pads. Get rid of it before it kills the cactus, they say. But I'm reluctant. Prickly pears are hardy, and though a pad or two has already fallen, I can't help but think those small beads of desire deserve a chance. While they are mostly sessile, the morning light that brings me back to Utah reminds me that desire shifts often, shimmering like the iridescent scales of a fish. The color of desire may be red, but I suspect the spectrum is not so easily divided, nor passion so clearly defined. Is it better, then, to focus less on color and more on landscape? Those open spaces that likewise shift in the spectrum of memory and mood? Where I live, says author and naturalist Terry Tempest Williams, the open space of desire is red. And this is where she lives, actually. She lives one valley over. I live one state down, but have traveled north less to contemplate color than to participate in a convergence of environmental writers and activists, red-faced denizens who, like Terry, like any of us concerned with the vanishing of natural landscapes and our place in them, wring their hands and then their minds in a collective desire for what we might call harmony, or holism, or healing. How, we ask, and sometimes succeed in answering, can we counter the industry of progress with its singular conclusion of loss? Desire may be the answer, but that too may be lost in the valley's frigid morning. Or perhaps desire is exactly what I found. The sun has not yet risen over the vast rock formations that bulge like ancient unlit cities. I walk toward them, my feet sweeping sand, my boots heavy with the stuff, as if the velvet ribbon of this arroyo could hold me as easily as I hope to hold it. Of course it could. Of course it has. We are never beyond the landscape, never fully able to claim it, though with camera in hand, I am certain to try. A pack of coyotes calls from a distant ledge, the yipping a premature burst before sunrise, then silence. How long can they hold it? How long can any of us hold the perfect moment before the break of day? The sun rises, and I stop. A cottontail scrambles. The sun's radiance lights the clouds in the east, though the orb has not yet reached the horizon. I raise my camera and turn to the west, a panorama of red. Sculpted, the arroyo flows, and the easy metaphor is blood. But the riverbed is dry, dyed, and bloodless. I think back to the cochineal, which digs in, covers itself with wax and stays. That is a strong desire, even if humble, innate. The streambed's banks blaze with rabbit brush and sage, foreground to tipping scarps and mesas, burgundy, then magenta, then scarlet. In the distance, cliffs and spires of vermilion, rose, salmon, garnet, too many reds to count, more than my camera can claim or decipher. The rabbit rushes across the wash, and I turn, lens whirring into focus, but miss the shot. It slows then and transforms to juniper, to hill, to ruddy bluff, to the mesas and the sky beyond, red and, like an old desire made new, redder still. So that's the first section. Thank you. And as long as we're talking about rabbits, I'm going to read with a poem that I have in this new anthology called Attached to the Living World, which is an eco-poetry anthology. I don't know if others have poems. Ingrid, are you?
No, not in it, but I have
It's a really terrific eco-poetry anthology edited by Laura Graystreet and Ann Fisher-Worth. And this poem called Desert Cottontail, which I'll close with, was originally in the Sonoran Desert Field Guide, literary field guide. And of course, Cascadia's got an amazing literary field guide. And there are several now roaming around the country, and that's really wonderful because I can't think of anything finer than actually going out instead of with a traditional field guide, with a field guide to a place that's full of poems and prose and art to truly discover our fellow beings. But this one has a different being in it. This is my dog, Lacey. This is called Desert Cottontail. hopper but not hare. Okay, let me take a step back. So if you don't know this about cottontails and desert cottontails and otherwise, rabbits eat their own poop, and they do that to double digest the nutrients in that. That's important. Desert cottontail. Hopper but not hare, bunny but not jack, shit eater but not jackalope, that giver of shit, launcher of tumbleweeds. Cottontail, you zig through my thoughts like you zag through the keen mind of my dog. The bone-white shih tzu tracing your evening trail and your riotous tail. And so we both know you were also on the mind of the rattler who seeks your fur-lined nest, the coyote who plays the opportunist. And why not? He too steals the prickly pear's ruby meat. And also the owls, great horn and barn. Not to mention, of course, the cats. The yard's fat tabby you'd think couldn't catch a whispered thing, but look at that bloody haul. And also the margay and bobcat, ocelot and mountain lion. And if the rumors are true, the jaguar, whose name means skull crusher. So back then to the canines. Let's admit my pup cannot compete with kit fox or gray fox or Mexican gray wolf. And also my flavorful friend, you scamper through the mind of red-tailed hawk and Harris's hawk, Cooper's hawk and American kestrel, ambitious to be sure, and below them the badger and the bear, weasel and raccoon, striped skunk and hooded skunk, and after all that, I coax my dog back as you sprint from every talon and claw into the ravenous night. Thank you.
That was too short.
That's too short, I know.
Well,
Encore, speech, questions.
If you go to the pub,
well, I can certainly read another poem. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be inspired by your fish poem. Okay, I'll read one more. Wow, you guys are
Demanding.
you're the best audience I've ever seen. I would rather spend my time with this audience than with the finest people in the world. That's from a movie called Roxanne and Steve Martin. I love that line. Okay, I'll read. I can read one more from Bloom. This is actually on the next page from Wild Mint. It's called Angelfish, and I'm inspired by Ingrid's beautiful fish poem. And this is me watching fish also, but not necessarily in the wild. Angelfish. How she navigates the deep corners of her world. The evening's sea blue glass reflecting green hills and dark clouds. How the manna falls, flaked and curling, to the open mouths of catfish, the conspiracy of scarlet cichlids. How finally the fluorescent light strikes her flashing fins, the sudden fusing of silver wings, and the flat sky peeling as she rises. Clouds shining like gated cities in the holy coins of her eyes.
That was way too short. That was way too short.
Okay.
Can we do Q&A?
Yeah, we could do Q&A. I can read one more. I'm not going to stop reading poetry if you guys want to hear it.
Sure.
All right, okay.
Remember where you are.
Yeah, you're right. You guys are awesome. Okay, today is Saturday, right?
That's right.
Let's read a poem from yesterday. This is a poem called Friday Afternoon. It's for my older daughter. Perhaps it was the rare day of rain or uneven weave of my walk as I arrived home after hours on the courts, blue shorts swimming around my knees, that caused you to condemn my skinny legs. I mean, really skinny, Dad, you said, kicking me back to my freshman year and the bully who called me Flamingo. The name sticking that entire Florida year, though my legs were neither scaled nor scarlet, which caused me to study the sleek white heron stalking the high school ponds, and how I wanted then, as perhaps now, to draw my legs tighter, to share the black reeds and dagger-quick beak of that pearly bird, to launch into the sultry air, water trailing like a whip behind me. And wouldn't you, my slim daughter, also like to split the earthly skin of your body so that your own thin and hollow bones could catch the wind and lift you up and over the day's swirling storm? Or consider the breakaway crane, feathers thick and gray like the clouds now spilling over the mountains, flower-stemmed legs flowing behind the vase of her body in flight, the neck not crooked but firm and straight, head aimed forward, true north. Thank you.
Thank you, Simmons, and thanks for reading a couple of extras. I appreciate it. We're going to wrap this thing up. I need to kind of like mention that, you know, even though I'm the one that talks all the time, Juniper is actually the one that's kind of like gets this thing going. So thank you, Juniper.
I wanted to thank you for being willing to collaborate on all my harebrained ideas. Thanks.
So anyway, and also remember to thank the single lady who was out there kind of like helping us the whole time.
Yes.
So it's been great. Thank you, Ingrid, and thank you, Simmons. Thank you, Juan.
Yes.
It was wonderful to have all of you. And we'll see you all again next time.
Shall we open some blinds?
I thought you said wine.
Well, that too.
We can open some wines.
I got a dry.
Oh yes, very good idea.
I got a dry.
See you later, everybody.